When we were in June, I was definitely thinking like, wow, it's gonna be such a long time until we get to VBT08. Like, how am I even gonna wait for all these cool new cards? And would you look at that? We're already there, and I haven't even done a deck profile with these Japanese cards I've had for a month now. What's good, people? It is once again time for a standard deck profile. We don't do too many of these, but of course, Dimension Play season is here once again. This time, it's in a bit of an interesting way, where the main VR that you see right here is a little bit lackluster, but then one of the grade 3s from like the triple rares is godlike. But so today we're gonna take a look at Grandgallop. I already took in a look at the kind of like Dieliner Brad Black. It's called Brad Black now, apparently. I always called it Blad Black, but it's called Brad Black in English. So the Brad Black Dieliner list in a separate video, you can check that out in the description or in the pinned comment. But today we're going to take a look at the VR Grandgallop. And actually, even though a lot of people say, you know, oh my god, Grandgallop is trash, you know, what a bad VR, you are able to build it. And when we get the new promo, the one that re-stands while you have a Gallop Vanguard, it's going to be pretty good, actually. I think the build's going to be pretty good. There's also a video on Hong Wai's channel where he gets destroyed by Stephen Lowe's Grandgallop list, so you can also check that out, but this one will be the TCG-based one without the promo because we don't know when that's coming. So, let's get into the deck list. Gotta do the good old card slap, you know, as we do. So we got the 4 Grandgallops, the main VR. So what does this bad boy do? So, you know, I can bring the card closer, but of course the text is in Japanese, so you're not really gonna see much. But let me pop up the English text instead. So what the card does is, when he attacks on Vanguard Circle, for each of this unit's criticals, you do the following abilities. If you have 2 or more criticals, for that turn your front row rear guards get plus 5k power. If you have 3 or more criticals, then for that turn, your front row rear guards get another plus 10k power, so 15k power total. And then if you have 4 more criticals on him, then your front row rear guards also get a critical. So this is pretty cool, but then how do you supply those criticals? Well, Force 2 is one of those ways, but then his second skill is also act Vanguard Circle once per turn, counterblast 1, for that turn this unit gains another critical. So that already supplies you with 3. You have another card in the deck that gives you the 4th one, but you're pretty happy sometimes just having the 2 or just having the 3, because even though it does suck that he doesn't get the power on himself. Like, he didn't need this 4 more critical extra crit on him, of course, but the extra power would have been really appreciated. I don't know why they held back on it, considering the level of power that standard actually is right now. I feel like it wouldn't have hurt to let him have some extra power on himself, but this skill is actually kind of abusable with certain playstyles, and so this build is going to be one such playstyle. So I will put this away for now. Of course, a very good way to get into Mr. Grandgallop is through our new favorite card, Brad Black. So Brad Black, we've taken a look at him in a previous video, but here he is again. So act Vanguard Circle once per turn, counterblast 1, and for that turn, give your front row 3 of your front row units plus 10k power. So that's already very nice because you can buff up your front row. And then after that, his other skill is when at the end of the battle that he attacked, you may look at the top 7 cards of your deck and find a grade 3 from among them and add it to your hand. Then if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, you may discard 2 cards from your hand, and then ride a card from your hand that is not Brad Black, and a grade 3 card rather. Ride it as stand. That unit gains plus 10k power, but loses 1 drive check. So what you can do is like ride it to him, use his skill, give your front row plus 10k, and then swing with him, check top 7, find a Grandgallop, and ride it over him. And when you ride it over him, you'll have a Force 2 on the Vanguard Circle, so you already have the extra crit on him, but then you also generate another Force 2 for one of your rearguard circles, and the extra 5k power from his skill, so that's pretty nice. So it's a nice way to go about it when you're going second. Of course, going first, you prefer to ride the Grandgallop, but going second, this is definitely a very nice play, thanks to that plus 10k buff to the front row, so definitely appreciate that a lot. But what are we playing to make use of all these extra buffs and all these, you know, all this power to the front row? Well, I'm glad you asked, because my girl is back. Miracle Beauty. So she put in quite a lot of work in standard when the first wave of Dimension Police support came out, simply because she was used in tandem with Dayusha and Great Dayusha, basically to take down OTT, which was like the most meta deck at the time. So what does she do? If you haven't played standard in a while, or you didn't play when she first came out, you might not be too familiar with her skill. So this skill of her is once per turn Vanguard and Rearguard Circle. When she attacks the Vanguard, if her power is 30k or higher, you may counterblast 1 and stand one of your other Miracle Beauties on a Rearguard Circle. So this is really cool, but then on top of that, she says when she stood on Rearguard Circle, you may also stand the unit behind her, so the same unit in the Rearguard column. So why is this cool? This is cool because we now have, you know, with Blood Black, we can give them plus 10k power. On top of that, with the Gallop, we can not only give them power, we can also give them a crit. And what that means is that we can have basically a turn of like, you know, these with like force 2s or something going like 30, 30, stand, 30, stand, 30, or whatever number they would go up to, because you can stack triggers on them, you can use, you know, the Black and Gallop skills, you know, both of them. Keep in mind that with the Gallop, if you can get the 3 crit, this is plus 15, so these will be 28, and with any boost, basically, they will hit over 30, so they can keep standing, and because they stand the unit behind them, they can keep hitting that 30. With the Black and Grandgallop combo, they will be the same amount of power because you get 10k power from Black and the 5k from the Gallop, but you get to basically actually pay less counterblast, because in order to get this up, you need to counterblast 1 for his skill to get the 3rd crit. So you basically, but then if you want to give them the extra crit, you need to do another counterblast for the next card that we're going to look at. So you sometimes do want to go for that extra crit on the Miracle Beauties, because that is like super lethal. Simply because, I mean, especially if you like go first, of course your opponent is going to be staring down like several 30k plus attacks that can hit them with crits, so of course it's going to be very scary. But yeah, so we're kind of mainly building this deck around these Miracle Beauties being able to stand each other all the time. Keep in mind their skills are once per turn, so make sure you don't stand too many. But how are we getting the 4th crit on the Gallop, you ask? I'm glad you asked, because we have the Grandvolver to do exactly that. So this is a new grade 2 that is very Gallop focused. Let me switch up the sides. This time we go here. So Grandvolver says, when placed on Vanguard Circle, counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1. For that turn, this unit gains plus 10k power. And if in your Vanguard Circle you have Great Cosmic Hero Grandgallop, then you may draw 1, and this unit gives your Vanguard plus 1 crit. So a bit unfortunate on that wording there, that he checks for that specifically named Gallop. It doesn't just say like a unit with Gallop in its name, because then you can use it in premium. So right now it's a little bit restricted, but this is the only way you can basically gain the 4th crit. I mean, there's other cards actually, like Laurel or the new Dimensional Robo that retires itself after boosting or attacking to give your Vanguard a crit, but we want to be doing that in the main phase. Why? Because we want our first attack to be with the Gallop, and Gallop gains that skill, you know, to give the extra power in the crit on attacking, not after the battle. So therefore that grade 1 misses timing. Laurel makes you rest 4 rearguards, which kind of goes against what this deck wants to do. So we're playing this. It's another Counterblast, another Soul Blast, so therefore the full 4 crit play literally needs a Counterblast from Gallop, a Counterblast from this, and then 2 Counterblasts for the Miracle Beauty. So it's very Counterblast heavy. Without that, otherwise you do 1 Counterblast for Black, no Counterblast for this, but you can then counterblast 2 for both Miracle Beauties. So actually the Black play is a little bit less counterblast heavy, but which actually, like, because you have to discard 2 for Black skill, you technically net 1 less card than from a regular 2 drive checks, but you go through 3 drives, therefore it's a bit better. And also the Gallop is a bit stronger because he gets the plus 10k buff from the Black as well. So anyway, that's just something to keep in mind. This dude also, the thing is with this dude is that he gains power, but you usually don't attack with him because you want to be attacking with your Miracle Beauty. So you only attack with him if you didn't get the Miracle Beauties. Then we're running some more grade 2s just to round it off. 3 Die Dragons. This basically helps us hit just numbers basically. So if you don't hit the Miracle Beauties, you still want to be attacking with big enough power because you're giving your regards the crit from Grandgallop skill. So Die Dragon does the job of being a 20k beater. So that's pretty good as long as you can hit the 35k or higher, which this deck struggles a little bit, I'm going to be honest with you. But the extra 5k can also help sometimes round out magic numbers. Then, of course, we're running 3 Platinum Ace, so we're going to keep up the tradition with the crits. So if you don't get Miracle Beauty, at least you can go like 3 crit rearguards with the Platinum Ace. So maybe if you want to, you can cut 1 Die Dragon to play 4, but it becomes very Soul Blast heavy, although you don't really Soul Blast too much in this deck, so maybe you can get away with it. So Platinum Ace's skill is when he's on the Vanguard Circle, he gains plus 5k, and then when on the Rearguard Circle, he has once per turn when he attacks. If your Vanguard is a grade 3 with 30k or more power, you may Soul Blast 1. For that turn, this unit gains plus 10k power plus 1 crit. So of course, you might be thinking, how am I even going to have 30k power on my Gallop Vanguard? Well, thanks to something like Twin Order, it's actually not that bad. So, of course, you know, this doesn't come up too often, but it's still a great card that, you know, when I was testing with this deck, I was hitting this threshold when I needed it pretty consistently. Alright, then of course the expensive promo that every DP player needs to have is Twin Order. So I have 4 Japanese and 4 English. I got my English ones, I pulled 2, and then I got my last 2 for $5 a piece. I hope that the rest of you can get them for $5 a piece too. I've heard that they go for a lot more. I paid a bit more for these, I think like maybe $8 or $9 a piece, but anyway, that's beside the point. But so his skill is, when he boosts, for each force marker you have on your field, your Vanguard gains plus 10k. So this single-handedly carries Gallop's power. We can hit the thresholds for Platinum Ace and Die Dragon and stuff like that. And on top of that, you know, Gallop itself doesn't gain any power from its skill, so we need to basically play the Twin Order behind him so that we're actually hitting for like a, well, 31 basically, because he's 13 plus 8, 21 plus the 10 here for 31. So that kind of works out. You can also put it behind the Black Vanguard and then not boost on the first attack and then boost on the second attack when you have 2 force markers to actually have even more power. So then the Gallop is really strong. Then it's really, really strong. So that's another thing to keep in mind. Of course, as you can see, we're running like 3 different types of grade 3s, and they're all very essential to our combo. So of course, we're going to be playing quite a few ways to actually find those grade 3s. First one of which, of course, is the Grand Rope. Grand Rope, of course, also has amazing art. So his skill is, if you have a grade 3 on your field, then he gains plus 5k power during your turn. So that's, of course, a very nice condition. And then when placed from hand on Vanguard or Rearguard Circle, you may check the top 5 cards of your deck, find a grade 3 from among them, add it to your hand, and then shuffle your deck and discard 1. So very cool ability just to find us the grade 3s. You know, finds you Miracle Beauties, finds you Black, finds you Gallop, finds you basically everything. This is a staple in DP standard right now for every single build, I would say. But, you know, I was like, you know what, that's not enough. We need to still find more grade 3s. So I'm running the Dicecooper. Dicecooper has found its room in quite a few builds for DP so far, whether it's Gallop, some people in Dieliner also run it, some people run it in Metalborgs, you know, in all kinds of builds. But we really want to find those Miracle Beauties, so we're running Dicecooper. So what does Dicecooper do? When he's rode upon, so when you ride him, he doesn't do anything, but when you ride the grade 2 on top of him, he says, check the top 7 cards of your deck, find a grade 3 from among them, and add it to your hand. So if you don't find anything, of course, you don't get the card, but you don't have to discard for this, so it's an actual raw +1, which is very, very nice. So he also has a rearguard skill. When placed for that turn, you can give one of your grade 3 Vanguards plus 5k power. So that helps us to build up a little bit extra power on our Gallop too. So you could, if you want, cut maybe, I don't know, even a grade 2 for 4th copy of this, but I feel like then you're running with 9 grade 2, so it's a little bit risky. But regardless, this is a really good card. Dicecooper is actually very, very nice. So 7 total grade 3 searchers. Pretty nice, I would say. Then I had to go kind of hard. We're playing Sentinel crits, so which means I am playing 12 crit. This deck definitely likes playing its crits because we have a restanding rearguard. So if you haven't been in the loop, basically they printed a new type of Sentinel, which is 30,000 shield. Hold on, this art is beautiful. I gotta show it to you guys. This art is actually amazing. 30,000 shield critical triggers. So you can't run perfect guards, or you have to run like 2 of these and 2 perfect guards. So Sentinel ruling says only a maximum of 4. So basically, I chose to run the 4 Sentinel crits. Why? Because this deck wants to check those crits and put them on the Miracle Beauty, basically, and also critting your opponent early means the Miracle Beauty has more potential to kill. So of course, if we're running these, we're also running, you know, we're running bump, 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 and the bump, 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 bump. So all 12 crits. Beautiful. Very beautiful. I don't run 12 crit decks very often. It's also because this deck is a glass cannon. Like, I'll say it right now, don't take this to, like, regionals. This is a fun deck. It shouldn't cost you too much outside of Twin Orders, but you're picking those up anyway for your good DP decks. But regardless, this should be your fun deck that you build thanks to those Twin Orders. I will do a proper budget like Sinbuster deck profile without Twin Orders eventually, because people ask, and I feel like it's a good resource. It's a good budget deck, to be honest. And then of course, finally, for heals, I like the new one. It's a very nice pose. I definitely, if a card has a good pose in its art, that definitely will help make me want to run it, so we've decided to do exactly that. And then of course, the Metalborg starter to finish off, just because, I don't know, I want to switch it up. I normally use Goyusha, but this time I didn't. So yeah, that's basically the deck. Basically always wants to go Force 2, that's kind of the standard for it. No pun intended there. But it's a fun deck. Like, I have fun one-shotting people with this, you know, just like drawing all my Miracle Beauties and winning. Before I ran the Dicecooper, I was actually running the Larrabis, which is a grade 1 card that, I'll pop it up on the screen, basically restands your Miracle Beauty, so it gets even more attacks, but it's just extra counterblast I usually don't even have. So I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna play this, I'll just play the Dicecooper instead, so I have more consistency in actually drawing the win con, which is, you know, the Miracle Beauties with the Grandgallop and with the Brad Black when you would actually get, you know, to go second or something. But yeah, so Gallop is a pretty fun deck. It's fun to mess around with, I would say, but nothing much beyond that. Let's just keep it that way. So if you're going to play competitive DP, I recommend checking out my Die Liner video. But if you want to have some good fun, if you pull some VRs, you know, and you got twin orders, then play with this deck. It's very fun. It's actually very fun to just like play some stupid, you know, kind of sacky Vanguard with this, because, you know, just drawing into your pieces and getting those crits feels pretty good. So yeah, that's basically it for this deck profile for my Gallop list. Hope you guys have fun with it when the set releases on Friday, on the, what is it, 4th of September. So that's very, very soon. And yeah, on that note, that's going to be it for me today, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.